7 prophetic words God has for us about the end times. This world can be a dark place. Sometimes it's hard to see light and hope in the midst of all the suffering and pain that surrounds us. Just this year, we've seen incredible evil take many innocent lives. We've seen terrorist attacks and heard rumors of war. We've seen hurricanes and natural disasters wreak havoc in different places around the globe. Top news headlines reveal constant struggles, pain, and brokenness that people everywhere are facing. Maybe you're facing it too. Our own personal losses and hardships remind us that this life is far from perfect. Yet as believers we can be grateful that this world is not all we have. We have the very hope of heaven in our hearts. God's words are true, every single one. And He is faithful to bring them all to pass. He never tells us to live in fear, worry, or dread of what's to come. But He does remind us to live aware, not to be surprised, to be wise and watchful. We don't have to be alarmed, because He's told us ahead of time what to expect. We know from His word in Mark chapter 13 verse 7, "And when you hear of wars and rumors of wars, do not be alarmed. This must take place, but the end is not yet. False prophets and false Christs will appear and deceive many." Mark chapter 13 verse 6, and verses 21 and 22. "Many will come in my name, saying, I am He, and they will lead many astray. And then if anyone says to you, Look, here is the Christ, or, Look, there He is, do not believe it, for false Christs and false prophets will arise and perform signs and wonders, to lead astray, if possible, the elect." With all the prophecies and signs of the end times that Jesus shares in these verses, He also says this over and over. He warns us to stay aware. Though it's clear that no one knows the day or hour of Christ's return, He does remind us 7 different times through Mark 13 to be on guard, watch out, be alert. He longs for His people to wake up and not be deceived or unaware of what's going on around us. Watch out that no one deceives you. You must be on your guard. So be on your guard. I have told you everything ahead of time. Be on guard, and be alert. Therefore, keep watch. If He comes suddenly, do not let Him find you sleeping. What I say to you, I say to everyone. Watch. Wars, rumors of wars, famines, earthquakes, and natural disasters. He reminds us that we will know these are prophetic words coming to pass when we hear of wars and rumors of wars, when we see certain events unfolding. Mark chapter 13 verses 7 to 8. "Nation will rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. There will be earthquakes in various places, and famines. These are the beginning of birth pains." Many around us may be feeling anxious and fearful in these days. Let's choose to trust and believe that God is working in our world, even behind the scenes where we can't fully see. Believers will be persecuted, hated, and put to death, and the gospel will spread and be preached to all nations. Mark chapter 13 verses 9 to 13. "You will be handed over to the local councils and flogged in the synagogues. On account of me you will stand before governors and kings as witnesses to them. And the gospel must first be preached to all nations. Brother will betray brother to death, and a father his child. Children will rebel against their parents and have them put to death. All men will hate you because of me. There will be an increase in wickedness in this world, and many will grow distant from God in their love and stand for Him." Matthew chapter 24 verses 12 to 13. "Because of the increase of wickedness, the love of most will grow cold, but he who stands firm to the end will be saved." This will be hard for those who remain faithful to watch. But we can trust that God will sustain us who believe in Him and help us remain in His love while the rest of the world increases in wickedness and those we thought were faithful turn away. The times will be very difficult and distressing for all. Mark chapter 13 verses 16 to 19. "Let no one in the field go back to get their cloak. How dreadful it will be in those days for pregnant women and nursing mothers. Pray that this will not take place in winter, because those will be days of distress unequaled from the beginning, when God created the world, until now, and never to be equaled again." Though this is distressing to think about, as believers, we have hope in Christ. We know beyond a doubt he is moving in every nation and that he will come again, just as his word says. For Christians, his second coming is a very good thing. No one will know the day or hour of Christ's return. 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 verse 2. The day of the Lord will come like a thief in the night. Mark chapter 13 verses 32 to 33. But about that day or hour no one knows, not even the angels in heaven, nor the Son, but only the Father. Be on guard, be alert, you do not know when that time will come. May God draw many to himself in these days. And may we be found living as light in a world that so desperately needs his great peace. May he help us not to grow weary or become busy with other things. There will be signs in the sky, the seas will roar, and heavenly bodies will be shaken. And then, in the blink of an eye, at the trumpet's sound, Jesus promises that he will come again. Mark chapter 13 verses 24 to 27. But in those days, after that tribulation, the sun will be darkened, and the moon will not give its light, and the stars will be falling from heaven, and the powers in the heavens will be shaken. And then they will see the Son of Man coming in clouds with great power and glory. And then he will send out the angels and gather his elect from the four winds, from the ends of the earth to the ends of heaven.